This story is about love, loss, and acceptance. It follows Anna, a 72-year-old woman, who finds a forgotten letter from her late husband. Through his words, she discovers courage and a new reason to live. Listen and let this touching story also help you improve your English. Anna was 72 years old. She lived alone in a small, quiet house at the end of the street. The house had once been full of life. Many years ago, children's voices echoed through the rooms, and the smell of Michael's cooking filled the kitchen on Sundays. Now it was silent. Her children were adults and lived in different cities, busy with their own families. They called her sometimes, but the visits were rare. Anna tried not to think too much about her loneliness, but it always returned in the evenings. She would sit in her armchair near the window, holding a cup of tea, watching the world outside. The street was alive with neighbors walking their dogs, children riding bicycles, and young couples laughing. Anna smiled when she saw them, but in her heart she felt the distance between her life and theirs. Books were her best company. She read almost every day, escaping into stories about love, adventure, or faraway places. Sometimes she wished she could have a new beginning too, even though she was old. But most of the time she accepted her days as they were. Quiet, slow, and lonely. The only picture that stood on her table was of her and Michael, taken when they were young. In the photo he had his arm around her, smiling with a warmth that seemed to light the whole frame. Anna often touched the glass softly as if the photograph could bring him back. Michael had died more than 40 years ago, but in Anna's heart, the pain never fully disappeared. That rainy afternoon, Anna decided to clean her wardrobe. It was something she had been putting off for months, maybe even years. She thought it would keep her busy for a few hours and she would feel useful. She did not know that this simple act would change everything. The wardrobe was old and heavy, filled with clothes she no longer wore. Anna pulled out scarves, folded sweaters, and dresses that still carried the scent of past years. She smiled softly when she found a blue dress she had once worn to a summer dance with Michael. She pressed it to her face for a moment, remembering the music, his hand in hers, the way they laughed together. But soon she folded it neatly and placed it aside. On the highest shelf, hidden under a pile of blankets, Anna discovered a small wooden box. She frowned because she did not remember putting it there. The box was simple but carefully made, with small carvings along the edges. Dust covered the top and the lock was old but weak. She sat down on the floor, her knees protesting a little, and placed the box in her lap. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside there were only a few objects. A dried flower pressed between two pieces of paper, a theater ticket from many years ago, and at the very bottom, a yellow envelope. The envelope was thin, the paper slightly fragile from time. Anna froze when she saw her name written on it. The handwriting was unmistakable. It was Michael's. Her breath caught. For a moment she thought her heart had stopped. She held the envelope carefully, afraid it might fall apart in her hands. Her eyes filled with tears before she even opened it. She whispered into the silence of the room, "Michael?" The sound of his name after so many years felt strange on her lips. She pressed the envelope to her chest, her heart beating fast as if she were suddenly young again and waiting for him to walk through the door. Anna sat on the floor with the envelope in her hands. The room felt colder, as if the rain outside had found its way in. Her fingers shook while she traced the letters of her name. It had been written with love, she could feel it even now after 40 years. But Anna did not open it. Not yet. Her mind filled with questions. Why did Michael write this? When did he leave it for me? What if the words inside bring back all the pain I worked so hard to bury? She thought about the nights when she cried herself to sleep after his death, about the empty chair at the table, about all the birthdays and holidays she had spent alone. She had built a life around that silence, a life of routine and quiet acceptance. If she read this letter, would all those wounds open again? Anna stood up slowly and placed the envelope on the table. She walked to the kitchen, poured herself a cup of tea and tried to calm down. But no matter what she did, her eyes kept returning to the letter. It was as if Michael's voice was calling her from the past, whispering through the paper. She sat back down and held it again. She could almost hear him. His laugh, his soft voice, the way he used to say her name. Her chest ached with longing, but there was also a small spark of comfort. Maybe, just maybe, the letter was not only about pain. Maybe it was a gift he had left for her, waiting for the right moment to be found. Anna closed her eyes, took a deep breath and carefully broke the seal. The paper was thin and a little yellow, but the ink was still clear. Anna unfolded the letter slowly, afraid that her shaking hands might tear it. She began to read. My dearest Anna, if you are reading this, it means I did not come home. Please do not be sad when you see these words. I want you to remember that I love you more than anything in this world. I was lucky to share my life with you even if it was too short. Please promise me one thing. Do not let sadness take all your days. I know your heart is strong even when you do not believe it. Live your life fully, Anna. Travel when you can. Laugh even when life feels heavy. Smile for me when the sun shines. And when the nights are long and lonely, remember that I am still with you in your heart. You are braver than you think, my love. Do not be afraid of the years ahead. They are not empty. They are waiting for you. Forever yours, Michael. By the time she reached the last line, Anna's cheeks were wet with tears. Her chest rose and fell quickly as if she had been running. She pressed the letter against her heart, holding it tightly. It felt like Michael was in the room with her, speaking directly to her soul. For a long time Anna could not move. She read the words again and again, afraid to let go. Each sentence carried both love and pain, but also something else. Something she had not felt for many years. Hope. Anna sat in silence, the letter still pressed to her chest. The rain outside tapped gently on the window as if the world was giving her time to breathe. She closed her eyes and suddenly the memories came back, clearer than they had been in years. She saw Michael standing in the garden, smiling at her with his sleeves rolled up, his hands dirty from planting flowers. She remembered the summer evenings when they danced in the living room with no music, just laughing at their own steps. She remembered his voice when he read stories aloud, making her laugh at his funny accents. Each memory felt alive but also painful. Her heart ached with longing, but the words of the letter held her. Do not let sadness take all your days. She repeated those words quietly, almost like a prayer. Anna looked around the house. Everything was still, but now it seemed less empty. She felt Michael's presence in the little things. The old clock he once fixed, the books they had bought together, the chair where he used to sit with his morning coffee. Tears ran down her face, but this time they were different. Not only tears of grief but also of gratitude. Gratitude for the love they had shared and for this letter, which reached across 40 years to remind her that she was not alone. Anna whispered softly, I miss you, Michael. And for the first time in many years she did not feel only pain when she said it, she also felt warmth. That night Anna could not sleep. She lay in bed with the letter beside her, the words echoing in her mind. The rain had stopped, but the silence of the house felt louder than ever. She turned from side to side, closing her eyes, but every time she tried, she saw Michael's face. She sat up and switched on the small lamp. The light was soft and golden, falling on the letter lying on the table. She reached for it again, reading the same lines slowly, whispering them out loud. You are braver than you think, my love. Do not be afraid of the years ahead. The words felt heavy but also alive. Could she really believe them? For 40 years she had lived quietly, telling herself her best days were gone. She had carried her grief like a shadow. But Michael's letter seemed to push against that shadow, reminding her of something she had almost forgotten. Life was still in front of her, not only behind. Anna stood by the window looking out at the empty street. The moonlight touched the wet pavement, and the air was fresh after the rain. For the first time in many years she asked herself a question. What if I tried again? What if it is not too late? Her heart beat faster at the thought. It was frightening but also exciting. Michael's words were not just comfort. They were a call to live. The next morning, sunlight gently filtered through the curtains. Anna woke up slowly, feeling the weight of the night still in her body, but also a strange lightness in her heart. The letter lay on the bedside table, slightly bent from being held so tightly. She reached for it and smiled softly, remembering Michael's words. Live your life fully, Anna. For the first time in many years she did not feel afraid to go outside. She made herself a cup of tea and walked to the window. The street looked alive and welcoming. Children were playing, birds were singing, and neighbors greeted each other with cheerful smiles. It was a world she had seen every day, yet now it seemed new and full of possibilities. Anna put on her coat and decided to take a small walk. She opened the front door, feeling the cool morning air on her face. Each step on the pavement felt like a small victory. She looked at the houses, the gardens, and the people around her, noticing details she had forgotten. the bright flowers in a neighbor's yard, the laughter of a child chasing a ball, the gentle wag of a dog's tail. Walking slowly, Anna realized something she had not felt in decades. Hope. The letter had given her more than words. It had given her permission to live again. Anna walked slowly toward the park near her house. The trees swayed gently in the morning breeze, and the air smelled fresh after the rain. She noticed the flowers in full bloom, their colors brighter than she remembered. Children ran across the grass, laughing loudly while parents watched them with smiles. At first, Anna felt a small pang of sadness. She remembered taking Michael to this very park many years ago, holding his hand as they walked under the old oak trees. But as she continued, a warmth began to spread through her chest. The park was alive and she was part of it again. She found a quiet bench and sat down, watching a young couple feed ducks at the pond. She smiled without realizing it. For decades she had lived in the shadow of loss, hiding from life. But now, with Michael's letter in her mind, she felt like she could breathe again. A little boy ran past her, his laughter ringing in the air. Anna laughed softly too, a sound she had not made in a long time. She closed her eyes for a moment, feeling the sun on her face, and whispered, "I will try, Michael. I will try to live." The park was no longer just a place she remembered. It was a place she could belong to, a place where life still offered her small joys and quiet happiness. Anna returned home slowly, her heart still full from the walk in the park. The house no longer felt empty. The sunlight that fell through the window seemed warmer somehow. She held Michael's letter in her hands and read a few lines again. "Live your life fully, Anna. You are braver than you think." She walked to the kitchen and opened a drawer, taking out an old photo album. Page by page she traced the pictures of their life together. Michael's wide smile, their wedding day, moments of laughter with friends. Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they were not just tears of sadness. They were tears of love and gratitude. Anna went to the window and looked outside. A neighbor waved at her and she waved back, smiling genuinely for the first time in years. Then, almost without thinking, she picked up the phone. She dialed her daughter's number. Her fingers shook, but she held the line. "Hi, it's me," she said softly. Then her daughter's voice came through, warm and surprised. "Mom, I was just thinking about calling you." Anna felt a rush of happiness. Just talking, hearing her daughter's voice, felt like a bridge to life again. She laughed softly, a sound she had not made in a long time. It was a small step, but it mattered. It was her first action toward living, her first real choice to embrace the present, instead of only remembering the past. After the phone call, Anna felt a lightness in her chest that she had not experienced in decades. She decided to step outside again, this time walking through the streets of her neighborhood. The sun was higher in the sky, casting warm light on the buildings and sidewalks. She noticed details she had forgotten. The colorful flowers in window boxes, the aroma of fresh bread from the bakery, the chatter of neighbors greeting each other. Every small sound and sight seemed alive, vibrant, and full of possibility. A group of children ran past her, chasing a ball, and their laughter made her smile. She realized how much she had missed these simple moments, the rhythm of life happening around her. Anna walked slowly, feeling the pavement under her shoes, taking in the sights, smells, and sounds. Each step reminded her that the world still existed beyond the walls of her home, and that she could be part of it. At the park, she paused to watch a mother helping her child fly a kite. The bright colors against the blue sky made Anna's heart lift. She felt a sense of connection with life again, as if Michael's words were guiding her, urging her to embrace the present and find joy in small, unexpected moments. As Anna continued walking, she noticed Mr. Lewis, her elderly neighbor, tending to his garden. She hadn't spoken to him in years, though they lived next door for decades. He looked up and smiled warmly. "Anna. Good morning. It's so nice to see you outside," he said. Anna felt a flutter in her chest. She hadn't expected to feel this kind of warmth after so many years of isolation. "Good morning, Mr. Lewis," she replied, smiling shyly. He wiped his hands on his apron and gestured to the flowers. "Would you like to help me with the roses? I could use an extra hand." Anna hesitated, then nodded. She stepped closer and touched the petals, feeling their softness. As they worked together, she listened to Mr. Lewis's stories about the neighborhood, the children, and even the old adventures he had had with Michael. For the first time in a long time, Anna felt connected. Conversation, laughter, and shared memories reminded her that life could be shared, even after so many lonely years. She realized that stepping outside, opening her heart to the world again, was the first step toward healing. By the time she returned home, Anna felt energized yet calm. She held Michael's letter once more and whispered, "I understand now. Life is still here and I can be part of it." That evening, Anna sat by the window once more, the letter lying open on the table. The sky was painted in shades of pink and gold as the sun set, and the soft glow filled the room. She felt a quiet strength rising inside her, a warmth she hadn't experienced for decades. Her mind wandered through memories of Michael, his laugh, his touch, the dreams they had shared. But now she saw something different. The past was no longer only a source of sadness, it was a source of courage. Michael's words, "Live your life fully," echoed in her mind. She realized that she did not need to wait for big changes or extraordinary events. Even small steps, small joys, could bring life back into her days. Anna stood up and walked around the room. She touched the chairs, the books, the photographs, and felt a connection with her life again. Tears flowed, but they were tears of hope. She whispered, "I am ready, Michael. I will live for us both." For the first time in years she felt a sense of completeness. She was no longer trapped in memories. She could honor them while embracing the present. The letter had opened a door and Anna was finally stepping through it. That night she went to bed with a calm heart, ready for tomorrow, ready for life. The next morning, Anna woke up early, feeling the sunlight on her face. The world outside seemed brighter, fresher, and full of possibilities. She sat by the window with a cup of tea, listening to the birds singing. For the first time in years she felt eager to start the day. Instead of retreating into old routines, Anna decided to take a small but meaningful step. She opened her closet and picked out a dress she hadn't worn in years. It was a simple dress, yet it reminded her of summer days with Michael, of walks through the park, and of laughter echoing in empty streets. Putting it on, she felt a connection to the past, but also a readiness to embrace the present. Anna then stepped outside carrying a small notebook. She walked slowly through the neighborhood, noticing details she had ignored for decades. The aroma of fresh bread from the bakery, the bright colors of flowers, the sound of children playing. She paused to greet neighbors, exchanging smiles and kind words. Each small action felt like a celebration of life itself. Anna realized that happiness was not about grand gestures or adventures. It was in the little moments. The warmth of the sun, the laughter of strangers, the feeling of being part of a world that continued to move even after loss. By the time she returned home, Anna felt lighter, calmer, and filled with a quiet joy she had not known for years. That afternoon, Anna decided to visit a small cafe she had passed by many times but never entered. The sign above the door was slightly faded, and the smell of fresh coffee drifted into the street. She took a deep breath and stepped inside, feeling a mix of nervousness and excitement. The cafe was warm and cozy with sunlight streaming through the windows. A few people were sitting at tables, reading or chatting softly. Anna chose a corner by the window and ordered a cup of tea. As she waited, she noticed a young woman struggling with a stack of books, trying not to drop them. Anna smiled and stood up to help. "Thank you so much," the woman said, relieved. "You're welcome," Anna replied, feeling a strange but pleasant sense of connection. Sitting back down, Anna watched people around her. She realized that life was happening everywhere and she could be part of it. Every small gesture, helping someone, smiling, noticing beauty, felt meaningful. For the first time in decades, Anna felt that the world was full of possibilities and she could engage with it step by step. She sipped her tea and whispered to herself, "This is just the beginning." As evening came, Anna returned home, feeling a quiet contentment she hadn't known for years. The sky was painted in soft purples and oranges, and the street outside was calm. She placed Michael's letter carefully on the table, its words still echoing in her mind, "Live your life fully." Sitting in her favorite armchair, Anna reflected on the day. She had walked through the neighborhood, greeted neighbors, helped a stranger, and visited the cafe she had always avoided. Each action, no matter how small, felt like a triumph over the years of fear and solitude she had carried. She thought of Michael, of the love they had shared, the memories they had created, and the dreams they had spoken about. Tears filled her eyes, but this time they were gentle and warm, carrying both nostalgia and gratitude. She realized that the past was not a prison. It was a foundation. And now she could build something new on it. Anna whispered softly to herself, "I will honor your words, Michael. I will live and I will find joy again." That night she went to bed with a sense of peace. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in decades she felt ready to embrace it. Life had returned to her, not as a burden, but as a series of moments waiting to be discovered. The next morning, Anna woke up with a sense of excitement she had not felt in years. She dressed carefully, putting on her favorite scarf, and decided to visit the park again. But this time she would not just watch life from the sidelines, she would be part of it. At the park, she greeted people warmly, stopped to talk to children playing, and even joined a small group stretching and exercising in the morning sun. Each smile she exchanged, each friendly word she spoke, made her feel alive in a way she hadn't known since Michael's passing. Later, she visited a small art shop she had noticed months ago. She bought a set of paints, brushes, and a sketchbook. For the first time in decades, she allowed herself to imagine the possibilities, to dream again. The world seemed full of colors, sounds, and opportunities, waiting for her to take part. Anna thought of Michael and whispered, "I am living, Michael. I am finding joy again." The tears in her eyes were not sorrowful. They were tears of hope, gratitude, and renewal. That evening, Anna returned home, her heart full and light. She placed Michael's letter on the table, the words glowing in the soft lamplight. "Live your life fully." For the first time she felt that she truly could. She sat by the window looking at the quiet street. The world was calm yet alive, full of small wonders she had begun to notice again. The soft rustle of leaves, the distant laughter of children, the gentle hum of life moving on. Anna realized that life had not abandoned her. She had simply closed herself off. Now she was opening her heart again. Anna thought of Michael, of the love they had shared and the years they had lost. But she also thought of herself, of the courage she had found within. She smiled, feeling warmth in her chest. "Thank you, Michael," she whispered. "I will live and I will honor our love." She picked up her sketchbook and began to draw, her hands moving freely, her mind calm and joyful. Outside, the first stars appeared in the night sky. Anna looked up and felt a sense of peace, knowing that the past and the present could exist together. Memories to cherish and life to embrace. For the first time in decades, Anna felt whole. The letter had not only reminded her of love lost but had shown her the path to a life renewed. She was ready to greet tomorrow with hope, courage, and an open heart. Because this was only the beginning.